Okay. That was quick this time too. Hello. Sorry, so late. Had to take the kids to friends and crap. So, um, anyway, sent out the hangout link there to y'all, to some of y'all. So if you get it, if you can join. So, anyway, I see Dud in the chat earlier. So he survived his first fishing trip. Oh no, just relived his first fishing trip. Okay. um, yeah, I miss my dad too. Yeah, it would be his birthday today, so that's because of the title there, of course. Um, and it's full moon, so yay. Um, so uh, I've got a buffer on it, so I only have one kid home this weekend. Woohoo! So be a little less quieter, but I'll be missing them by tomorrow. So of course. Um, anyway, the only viewer. Let's see, to there. Um, oh yeah, I could send you the link. That there. Give me a second if you want to join there. Uh, and there goes my cat. Thank you, cat. She does that all day here lately. What is it? Come here. What is it? She wants my lap. That's what it is. So, there we go. There it is. I forget. Kitty, no. No, don't want to do that. Okay. Erg. Okay. We're watching that movie Knowing. So I told my oldest that movie scared her when it first came out. And now she's watching it. She's the one who picked it. So, uh, anyway. So, anyway. Well, don't know. I didn't even know where I was going to start because I'm running late and stuff. Anyway. Did I forget somebody? I don't feel like I forget somebody. Anyway, hope you're well. The one person wasn't. Just kidding. I know how Google, YouTube, they mess with the views and shit. So, and it is Friday, so probably a lot of other shows going on too. So, go to the event page. There. Okay. No. Hey, Foxy. Yeah. The YouTube link on there. I think I don't know. Wait, did I? I think I might have already. Yes, I did. Pretty sure I did. Anyway, I'll check to be sure. No, yeah, it is in the description, but I'll still put it here. Damn it. There, good. Okay. I hate, can't go back to your freaking page from the event pages. That's stupid. Yeah, full moon, yeah. So. I know, kitty. Maybe that's why, part of why she's been acting that way the past few days. So, who knows? Yes. Yes. It is full moon. So, anyway. Oh. Crap. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Kitty, go ahead. You can get up there. Go. Go. Come. Come. Okay. I clicked when I shouldn't have clicked. Oops. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. My dream about the moon. It was funny. So anyway, that one from last week. So, I wasn't even thinking about it when I made the title of the show. So, I'm like, duh. So I sent you the Hangout link if you can join it there. So anywho, click. Oops. So, let's see. What we're gonna talk about? Art. Yeah, I was talking about art there for a few minutes. Yeah, I made a website for my artwork. I'm still working on it. Like I was going to get all the kids to help me this weekend, but it'll just be me because they're gone. But anyway, yeah, I'm trying here to do that thing. So it's like that song, "The House of the Rising Sun." I think of that. My dad, he loved that song, and I remember the line in it: "Tell your children not to do what I have done." And he always wanted to be a musician, but he never got to. So, I'm really going to try to do that with that. So, take them words to heart there, people. So, don't waste your life away. Do if you get at something, go find yourself the way to do it. And that's what I'm trying to do with that. So, hello, John. So give me just a second here. She still come out here. At least she didn't come on the camera. She runs around it anyway. She's in her pajamas. So, but yeah, the art thing. So, I got copyrighted too. So yeah, The art's copyrighted now, so um, baby steps. Just I'm not selling nothing. They're just putting it out there. Anyway, like I said before, I can't do that online anyway because I have no bank account. So you have to have a bank account to do that shit. So, but I just want to put it out there. Like we say, put some good out there. All these people out here sharing all this bad shit. That's what I'm doing, putting good out. I'll share stuff every now and then. There's so much out there bad. It's imbalanced. We need more good out there. We really do. Um, so that's what I'm doing now. Spreading love and getting this good things. We're not perfect, but we try to be as perfect as we can be. You know, that's all we can do. Mm, anyway, um, yeah, it's my dad's birthday today. He would be. He was 2 years younger than Mom, so he would be 70, I think, today, something like that. Yeah. So, yeah. Um, happy birthday, Dad. So, um, anyway, yes, lead belly, yes. I will look that up. Thanks, John. Yes. Um, what else? Um, like I said, I had shit in my head and it's poop. Um, I said some of it already, but I'll probably remember it later. I hope. But yeah, the art thing. Yeah, I'm really gonna try that. For myself. You know, uh, and thanks to all who inspired me to do that. So you know who all you are. So, uh, anyway, you too. Take care, Tony. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, awesome. Um, yes, it does. That makes me happy doing that. So cool, John. Um, I'm happiest when I'm painting and drawing and stuff too. So yeah, um, I'm always loved to do that stuff. So um, it, and it becomes a part of you after you do it. That's why I see. I can imagine, you know, some artists that they hate to let a painting or a picture go, you know, because you put so much of yourself into it. You know, like these artists singing, you know, artists and stuff. You know, um, I can imagine what that feels like to hear people singing your songs back to you. You know, that's I couldn't even imagine that. That's just that would just be unreal. You know, um, so just thanks, Foxy. Yeah, they're always watching over us. Yes. Um, this is where I grew up too. Especially, you know, he said he'd always look over this place. Especially, you know, he loved it here. You know, because it was so beautiful here. You know, so he wanted to be buried up on the hill over here so he could watch over the place. I remember that he didn't get to. You know, laws and all that shit. So, Kitty, thank you. But yeah. I put the link for the live show. I made a space for it on the website there. So when I do a live thing, it'll be on there too. So we'll try and find a way to do that live stream thing. That's right, Foxy. Getting your work seen gets a name. You be if you get offer of agent. Yeah, yes. Have a show of the work. Yeah, that would be cool. Um, that's the goal here. Yeah, and like I said, I was gonna get the kids to help me put it up on the wall, a lot of them, but I'm gonna have to do that myself. It looks like I didn't expect them to. Well, it's the weekend. They went to their friend's house, you know, and everything. So I think they had some plans. They were going somewhere this weekend to friend anyway. So like I said, I will be missing them tomorrow. Yes, trademark registration. Yeah, I need to. It's copyrighted on the website. Yes. Uh, so and I've started signing and dating them too. I need to go back and do that to all of them. As a matter of fact, so dating them and all that, and signing them because I forgot. But so TikTok, TikTok. Um, I meant to put dreams in the title too, and it was already long anyway. But you know, so I just left it out, I guess, for that reason. But mm-hmm. um, the ESP, yeah. Like I've said a lot of times before, you know, I see everything coming, you know, and we all can if we just tap into that part of ourselves and focus all. If you see something good, just focus your energy on it, and that's how you make it happen. You know, the more you want it something to happen, the better chance there'll be it happening. You know, but if it's something bad gonna happen, you know, I just try to make it as easy on yourself as possible. Be prepared for it. You know, that's why you're shown these things. So, uh, yeah. So, um, and that's what I'm trying to do. Try to do. You know, you're still not prepared fully for what happens, but uh, yeah. Well, I don't want to give too much away, but you know, I've seen everything that's happened and is happening now, and you know that's okay. You know, it, like I said, I've seen everything coming, so kind of sucks in a way. Like I seen that one about the empath that I posted, reshared. That you feel everything, good and bad, you know, and that's the same with the ESP, and it's getting really loud in there. Uh, it's just two people in there. Anyway, yeah, the good and the bad. So just don't let the bad overcome you. You got to be careful with that balance. Like I said before, the balance. So, oh, damn don't just do all negative things. Do some positive things too. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, um, I apologize. I'll be right back. Okay. Anyway, yeah, the balance. Yeah, don't let yourself get imbalanced. Because when that happens, um, things just don't go right for you. I've worked really hard to get mine back, so it's getting there. So, like I said, baby steps. Don't expect it to happen overnight. I'm not expecting to have anything like that to happen overnight. Like with the artwork, I know that shit takes time. That's with anything. So, just gotta wait and just roll with it. Whatever comes. So, um, anyway, um, so, um, anyway, I know it's weird. A lot of people can't make because of the time difference thing, which that sucks. Because it's really the same time everywhere. It's just the our perception. The perception of it. Um, like it's day here and night there, but it's really the same time. But we see it like other side of the world, it's nighttime, whereas here it's evening. So, uh, but damn, 4 years since you've been waiting on that injury funds. Damn, that sucks. It's like people here that apply for the disability, they deny you the first time, then you reapply, then you gotta wait, and then they hold you back, uh, or some shit like that. Like with unemployment benefits, they do that. They hold you back 2 weeks when you finally get approved, and you're like, why am I getting held back 2 weeks? Unemployment, come on. But You lack of justice since 2011, now 2017. Long time waiting. Yeah, UK. Yeah, it's about the same way here. So yeah, that's the way the system's set up. It's not set up to help you. It's set up to help them. It's like I had his sister was over there earlier. There's dogs that runs around the trailer park there, and some of them are mean, some of them are nice, but one of them bit their daughter on the butt, and they called the police, and they said, "Oh, we can't do nothing because there's no leash law. It's out of city limits." I'm like, well, anyway, they should have known better because they ain't there to help you. They're there to help, the elite, the people in charge. They're not here to help us. When they used to be here to help us, but now it's reversed. So it's 11 p.m. there. Yeah, it's only 6. It's almost 7, 12 to 7 p.m. here. So be nice one day we all get together offline here. That would be cool. If I had the money, see, that's another way they keep us, in our box, because you have to have money, their money, you can't just, and identification and shit, and you can't just fucking go, places, like the shit going on here with the immigration crap, Hail Trump. Not none of them's any good. We know that. It's playing a role, playing a part, as they all do. And ones that do try to make a difference, what happens to them? It doesn't end well for them. So that's why we got to, do what we can to disconnect from the system. That's why I'm doing this with the art thing. I've got to go through the system to do it, though. That sucks because that's the way it's set up. That's the way this fucking crazy world is right now. So it's upside down and backwards. Dad always used to say that too. Everything's upside down and backwards. That's right. She's saying in UK, she takes the amount she gets all her benefits stopped, and only 14,000 only lasts 1 year for rent, tax, and all that other stuff. Yeah, that wouldn't last long at all. But yeah, but that's like I said, it's a upside down, backwards world we're living in. I'm not gonna say 1984 world because it's upside down and backwards from the way it should be. So hello.
Hi, Becky. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, well, as I said in the chat, I've only been waiting years for an offer of this injury payment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, well, I just sent the original. They sent it to the wrong name anyway. So I'll change. I can't do anything with it. It'd be sending a check anyway. There's only numbers on the computer. The way the benefit system works in UK, right? If I take the offer, right, this is how they get you. If I take, it's about 14 grand. It sounds a lot.
Yeah.
So only numbers on the computer. But if one thinks about it, by the time if I pay for everything myself, like if somebody's working, 14 grand would just be like a year's wages or something. Yes. So then I would be back to square one and having to reapply for all the disability benefits again. Yes. And then the whole system is so rigid and tight and worse now.
Yes.
and there's no guarantee I'll get the same what I'm being offered at the moment.
Right.
So it's like, right, I said to my lad, you know, my son, I said, well, yeah, they could, their documentation is like, if you want it paid to someone else. So I found out if I get a personal injury trust, which is like a trust, and make my son a trustee, and I'm looking at red tape, saying tax back. So you could get savings if above, I think I have to investigate more. If it's above $6,000, then yeah, okay. It doesn't affect your entitlement.
Right,
But
right.
the threshold, I think they keep changing the gate pole, you know, and it's like so damn bloody confusing. I thought, okay, great. I said to my lad in a message, I said to him, great, I can finally perhaps get a mobility vehicle, you know, a second-hand one, you know, and it's okay. But the lawyers will most probably suddenly send an invoice for their cut because they originally pursued it. And I couldn't go to the original appeal tribunal because I was physically disabled. I couldn't travel. But they went ahead anyway. So I thought, well, I can get them on both angles, actually. I can get them on discrimination for failing to uphold the DDA statute. Or as well, I can go back, which I have done. I just sent the documentations back to say, you've sent it to the wrong individual and wait for that move. Because they're trying to make, in the wording, it's like blackmailing. And the wording, good job I've learnt what I've learnt years ago in contract law and statute law. So I knew what the wording was trying to imply. So I just sent the documents in the post back and without without filling anything in and just wait to see if there's anything else. And they're trying to set a deadline, like 28 days, get back or we don't pay. Yeah? They can't do that in statute law. Because it's already documentation where I've been offered the total amount was like about 18 grand, and but this is why originally in statute law, which I thought was the highest amount was 27 grand for the original tort, like a crime, serious one, and yet. If the mainstream media got wind of this, they'd be all over me again, and I'm playing low key at the moment because I don't want all that crap, you know. It's like, because for them it'd be a headline, it'd be like, oh, this they call it in statute law, this victim's finally got payout after all these years, you know, or campaigning for justice, you know what they're like. So I deliberately had to change my birth given name, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's like all these years on, like yesterday when it came in the post, it's like, I don't know, mixed emotions, isn't it? It's like I've progressed from years ago in my own self, my own way, and imitation and all that kind of stuff and consciousness. And then I'm experiencing all this posterity in my home, and then this comes in like a bombshell, you know, If I don't know. If I had done meditation and in my mindset the way I am now, I might have reacted completely negative, like a flashback, you know, I could have gone downhill suddenly.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah. You know, that's helped me a lot too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because I was in a weird mood, but I wasn't quite the way. Years ago, I could have reacted differently to the news, and it could have put my mindset back into that experience. And it was hell on earth, and and in a way, it's like in the days, okay, I've got to sleep on it, but I didn't really sleep because it's plays on your mind, and I thought, right, damn it, I'm going to put what I know into practice, which I just sent it in the post back. I thought, right, ball's in your court now. And then I'm going to set my own time level and then get time to set up a trust just in case. And then investigate a bit more and then just learn how to get it all typed up again. Remind myself, talk about websites, it's like it just triggered my mind of thinking I used to run websites years ago for my old business and it's like and then when you talk about your art, it would just remind me years ago when I used to go to all these I called it very snobby places years ago when I got invited to places, and I saw these so-called well-off people were buying off-the-wall type art. Weren't your standard like your period art? It was complimentary, not complimentary. I can't even say the right words, but they were like abstract type artwork, and more sort of like and anybody who didn't know about art would think that's just a bit of paint and splatter of paint on a canvas. But these guys and women had loads of wealth to throw away, and I looked at them. I was new to it all, obviously naive young at the time, and I thought. And I had a good teacher. My ex was a very well travelled guy, and he knew about art and fine arts and fine lifestyle, you know. And he taught me a lot about that. And I always remember that what he said was like, it's actually not actually the name of the artist, it's actually the style of the actual artwork and how it portrays the individual and how they most probably will if they're interested, they will like be looking to. That's what I said about an agent, because my previous experience in PR, which was like, you know, promoting people and getting them noticed and whatever field they were in at the time, my job. And then previously in modelling was all about getting PR, public relations. And then setting up events, whatever it would be, not in music, mainly it was whether it's modelling, whether it's art, whether it's promoting a business, that kind of PR. And then it went on to journalism then. I did a lot of journalism and research. So I had my NUJ card and all that from my ex-friend. So I got... all those years ago, I had all that experience. I lost it all when this thing happened to me. And I'm slowly learning the skills again.
Relearning,
it just takes time. It's like, you know, it's like with all the modern technology, it's like my brain's fried. How do you do this? How do you do that again? You know? But what I saw on your website was very good, because the way you've done it is you've got the colour so prominent, and especially when you trademark it. That's what I said about that, because anybody could just, not anybody, but if they wanted to be. You know, I've had that experience before when I've had websites before. They can easily, if there is a third party or second party involved, they can claim, oh, it's theirs. But the way you've done it better, because you're the owner outright, you trademark it, and then obviously it's like what they do with patterns and things, don't they, when you've got an inventor out there. Automatically. So it's interesting what you say, because you never know. If you don't know what I'm saying, you're the right age group, you know, your kids are getting older now. That's how I started, similar to your age group. Not that I'm that old, by the way. It's just my kids were similar age group to yours, and when I started in more the PR side, and I had more time on my hands to actually put energy into it. And then my ex-friend used to say, well, set up a website, promote yourself, get your business card, do all that stuff done. And I just made contacts that way and started having, just making contact, really. The art side, it's a good way to actually, because there's still these elites out there that got waste of funding to spend, and if you can make a niche for yourself, this is a time to do it, you know. If they're not emigrated to New Zealand or something by now. You know, but it is where, especially if we look at the commercialism now, I mean, not necessarily I personally think that the small businesses are well, for my example, I'll go in my area. They're pushing small businesses forward, and mainly on the arty side.
Yeah.
The upscale arty. There's a new place going to be open up the road soon, and all they show is very boring pieces compared to what they show and what you show and what you
Yeah.
do. Yours is, that's why I set up that page per talent,
Yeah.
natural talent, because what I see is nothing. That's crap,
Right.
and they set up public purse funding for that up the road, and that is
Yeah.
nothing in the eye. And that's not saying anything. With yours,
Yeah.
you've got that. You've got that kind of niche to it where you decipher, you've got meaning to it, and
Yes.
you've got your talent you put into it, and that's what will attract people to your work.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
So good at you on that one, definitely.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, like you said, I've seen on some of these documentaries I've watched, famous artists, and I'm like, that sold for how much?
I know.
I mean, and it's like, it looks like a kid done it or something, some of them, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. When I went to these places years ago, a lot of these places were mainly London in UK, and I was always just like, a pretty blonde woman on the arm, some kind of wealthy individual. I just happened to see them guys. And I said the exact same as you. I said, what? This is just a piece of
It's a crap.
and when they said how much it got sold for at auction or bidding or whatever they did,
Yeah.
I just like, what?
I know. I know.
Yeah. It still goes on now, I'm sure. I've got a neighbour to antiques, and he's made a living out on the sideline of the programme on TV years ago. It used to be called Jailboy, and it just reminded me, this character, this guy lives nearby, when he turns up, he travels around and makes his living because he's got a keen eye for old pieces in antiques, and just pure luck that he's made a sideline for himself and income doing that. People just got that niche, so go for it, girl.
Oh yeah, I'm trying.
It's like baby steps, isn't it? Really, you got it's technology. You've got it all takes time. Something you might suddenly find yourself where you're like, you've got your website, you're doing all these stages, you've got the artwork through your family commitments as well, but suddenly you just get that one link, one contact, and that could lead on so many other things. It's just like a steamroll, it's like a domino set where suddenly something happens and it all falls into place. And from my old experiences years ago, that's what used to happen, these people. And it's like, it's amazing the characters you meet, even when you just like get invited to places. It's like my other side was modelling, and it's only because I looked the part at the time. And but some of them were nice people, I met. Some of them were shallow, and some of them had more passion and sense. And but it was fascinating, that kind of life. It wasn't my life. It was
like
just
you said, all it takes is one person, to find you, whatever. But I watched that Oasis movie, Supersonic, and that's how they got found. It was by fluke. That guy that found them was there that night. He'd come to give his ex-girlfriend, Intimidator, and he was a record producer or whatever. And he heard them, and he's like, I'm signing them guys, and it was, was no accident, no coincidence that he was there. He was meant to be there, like you said,
Yeah. My opinion nowadays, what I know now, is like the contract with the way the system is now. We all know it's also trying not to sell one soul out to the devil kind of theory, and it's like what works for your own situation, isn't it? What's going to benefit you and your family's future. And I suppose that's where you might come from, because no one else is going to help you, kind of thing. And it's like, what can you do to improve yourself? And it's what's going on in UK, all this typical crisis with so many subjects. We've got like the healthcare, the NHS, the benefit system all crashing.
Yes.
And it's all about, and then the food issue going on and all.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can you help yourself? How can your family help?
Well, hey, let's look over here. Look who we got. That's our CEO. It's gonna
because originally
he's finishing though.
Oh no, it's like originally I thought, okay, what can I? It's not a lot of cash, but I could do a lot with it. But then again, what would I lose? And it's like, the only way I could protect this this amount, to me is a lot. But I have to protect it, but by the time the bloody company, the limited company CEO of the lawyers, take their cut, a huge chunk will come out of it. And the complications look too much, for me to be bothered with. And it will go into trust for my grandkids, and I don't want nothing to do with it myself, only a little bit to help me. And minor things, and the rest will go for their future and help my son and daughter out. I don't want to be reminded of what happened to me. It's just blood money, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. It's like you said earlier. If you want to change the world, start with yourself.
Yeah.
You hear a lot of people say that on here, and that's true. That's the only way we'll be able to even to make an impact, to make a change in this world. It ain't going to be by overthrowing this and that, it's baby steps.
Yes.
You got to want it to change.
Yeah.
You got to want that change for yourself.
It's motivation. It's a mindset, isn't it? It's motivation as well.
Yeah.
Life gets in the way. Life situations. Not everybody's got a roof at their head. Not everybody's got the skills or abilities, and it can be tough. And you go ride it out, and. For my situation, compared to years ago where I am now, it's been a long journey. And for me personally, meditation, tapping into because my skills years ago was reflexology, trained in that when the kids were younger. Yeah, and that's how my business skills came in, and my ex-husband, my ex-fiance, through all that, and that led me on to other things. It just seemed I fell into things, through the contacts I made, and I think what happened to me cut me off from a lot of stuff, because I went within myself. I was like a shell. I had a protective shell because I didn't want anything near me, because that experience was traumatizing.
Right. That's what I was going to say. You need traumatizing experience. That's what happens. You go inward.
And then that disassociation from reality, kind of whatever reality is, sets in. And I had the physical then got run over, and then I had the physical impact of that to deal with, the reality of that, and then the mindset, the changes to what my life was then and what it's been like over the years. And then I could not deal with all the other, like all this CIA criminal injuries paperwork at the time, and things just went by, and just one thing I couldn't cope with everything, one thing at a time. And then it's only through the past year and a half of doing meditation that I'm at the stabilized kind of situation. And but I still am on a journey. I call it a life journey,
I was talking with someone the other night and telling them about my, the website and all. They're like, well, you're on a path there, with that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
like
right.
you said, a journey. Yeah, it's your path. It's always been my path, I guess. But um,
It's like what I mean. Hi, Gemma. I think it's muted. It's like Gemma mentioned one time one of your shows about I can't. What's the title? You mentioned a comment. It's very profound because it just struck a chord because it's like I've turned my energy on to what I'm experiencing myself. My consciousness, it comes across weird my videos, but that's what I'm experiencing. So
right.
what I was experiencing before and learning about the weather, I went through that journey of learning about all this statute law, common law, contract law for quite a few years. Then I stopped all that because I learned all that. I never stopped learning, but I stopped that and went on to the weather modification subject. And it was like a diversion of my reality, which
distraction.
I had to, I had to try and get my mindset. My neighbour kept nagging me and saying, I do this meditation, and I kept no. It's too new agey for me, I don't want to go back down.
That's like me, with the weather. That's what I started out with on here was the weather modification stuff. I'm still do look into that stuff time to time, but and other things like the Committee of 300. I did a lot of research on that, and stuff. But this is what I'm supposed to be doing now. All along, this is what my path led me to. So everything happens for a reason. There's no coincidences. People we meet and everything. Like I've said, we've all said, meet certain people and they inspire you to do these things.
Because if I hadn't bumped into my neighbour again, and at that time I must have been ready in myself to accept the offer, and it's 2015 I started, now 2017, so that's how long I've been doing and learning this meditation, the subconscious mind, and then I've noticed that I'm, without me consciously knowing, projecting a positiveness of myself. Even with strangers say, can I help you if I'm out and about, and it's like, and if you just treat another individual, you might not even know them, and sometimes you get idiots, you can't help that, but sometimes they're so helpful. And I said to my neighbour about this the other week, and he says, because you're changing within yourself by all this crap that you've had to deal with, this the deep-rooted stuff is all coming out, and now it's like a weight off the shoulders, and now you're changing in yourself. And the mind's a powerful thing, and the consciousness, and the frequencies of one's energy, like the chakra, I think I've and I've only just learning about that. I know about the reflexology, and it just I'm just triggering off my memories of what I learned about that to do with the hands. You can do the same with your feet, with the hands. And I'm been training my friends how to do my hands for me to get the blood supply working. And we have a laugh doing that, and mind you, I've got ticky hands, but it's funny how life pans out. Everyone's situation is different, but also what in reality, so-called reality, one's perception reality, I see a lot of the dark side of life, and that goes on, that will go away, and the system is so deliberate to create so many people to lose their homes and go through the gap. and they won't have that opportunities available to them without being tied into the state system as well. And that's another side, unfortunately. I mean, yes,
like you said,
okay.
about channeling your energy, about channeling your energy to positive. Yeah, you feed what you focus. If you're just focused on that bad shit all day, you're gonna throw yourself out of balance if you don't do some good there too.
Because what I tend to do myself is when I see like the regulars and I see them out and about, I always, if I'm out and about, depending when and the weather, I always make a point to stop. I might not be able to help them, but I always can talk and acknowledge them, as an equal living soul. The situation's different, but we're still on the same plane, Earth.
Yeah.
And, we're all living souls within ourselves. It's just unfortunate that people's got their situations to deal with. And I can say, well, about people, you can never judge a book by a cover, because the way the state system wants to portray this is all over the mainstream media about mental health, and it's all about an agenda with them to push those with. When I came across, I can't remember the link now, but a long time ago, the truth about psychiatry. And it's all about big pharma, and went through the lights. If I hadn't come across you and Lost Horizon and various people like that online, and learning things about vaccines and learning about that subject, and learning about natural health and foods, I would never. I mean, I changed my whole way of eating.
I have too. Yes.
Yeah.
We do slip up though. Just
I've been fairly good. I've lost a lot. Being in a wheelchair, you can't exercise. When you can do a lot of exercise, but with limited mobility, it's a bit difficult. So I was researching what can I eat. Like, I love grapes. I like red grapes, fruit, and easy to digest and eat for me. And I found it's got some really good copper, some nutrients in it. And which I was researching what's easy accessible, what's not shortage at the moment in places where I like to get my things from. And that's helping me wean off. The one thing left to me to wean off is polos. Second on polos. and that would help me. So I make an effort now. No, I'm not getting that. I'm getting the conscious. I automatically go for that different item. Then I've noticed more and more I do that, and then it's like herbal teas. I thought do that instead of that.
Yeah. So I don't do most of the shopping here, and if I want something healthy for me, I have to go and get it myself, and I can't. I tried that before. I told them, I'm like, that shouldn't eat that, tell them what I don't give a shit. I'm gonna eat it anyway.
No.
Okay, I stopped telling, and it sucks, because you see, how people eat and stuff, and then they wonder why they feel like crap. Because you're eating crap. That's what I told them. You're eating crap, literally.
It's frustrating when they don't want to listen, isn't it?
Very.
Yeah. And it's like you just want their minds to wake up for what and it's like you're talking to brick wall half the time, Hello, are you in?
I know. Yeah. Hello, anybody home? No, there's nobody home.
I sent a link of a video about what we've seen, right? Just to test my son out, bless him, he's open-minded. And he texts back, he says, "Whoa, that's weird." And it's like, okay, it's a normal reaction. I even sent my sister, who's very religious,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I got to give her a shout out now. Yeah, she's working on a mobile phone. She ain't got her internet now. So.
cool. That's brilliant. Yeah, so with my old dear, my sister, she's very close to my old dear, but she's very religious, and she went on. She never calls me, like hang out
Yeah.
with or whatever. And
Right. Yeah.
when I sent her that video, she's straight on the phone. And she used she didn't come down with the religious, her religious,
Right. Yeah.
which was quite surprising actually. And
Mm.
she let on a few things happen, like the out of body experiences and
Oh,
certain
wow.
things. Yeah, I know that's true because
Ooh.
my son had one when he
Oh,
had
yeah.
a crash.
Oh,
He got hit by
yeah.
a car head
Yeah.
on at 7, and
Mm.
he described. Because I was on the way to a health club at the time, and I didn't realise all the ambulances and everything were around in the street. And I got a
Yeah.
message as I got to the health club to get down to the hospital because my son's been in an accident. And
Mm.
they didn't, police didn't describe anything because they didn't know they survived or not. And apparently,
Oh, man.
his head hit the windscreen like a football head on into the.
Oh.
He was crossing the crossing, which was on normal crossing for him to cross on his
Mm.
bike. And the woman was on a mobile phone. It's a long time ago. And um, and he didn't get a lot of compensation in them days. It's a bit different.
Right.
But his mates already crossed the road on their bikes. And that woman didn't stop in time or seem in time because she just was trying to find a phone, apparently, the police said.
Mm.
But all I remember is my son, he had a broken bone, he had loads of glass in his head,
Oh, God.
and a broken nose, and but the medical people said he's lucky to be alive. They don't know how he
Oh, yeah.
survived. And
Mm-hmm.
he described to me how he felt himself floating in that emergency room, and he saw his physical body on that bed and people rushing over him, and and
Mm.
he saw night, and the next way he describes that he was waking up in his actual body. And
Mm.
he didn't divulge this to me till about a year later,
Oh, wow.
and because he didn't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and then all these years on,
It's like certain dreams I've had. It's took me a while to actually be able to describe them to people because it's it's an experience you can't explain in words. But you have to find the words to use for it, and it takes time to go through. And yeah, but yeah, totally.
It's very weird because I mean it's like I went onto YouTube channel, I found about raising one's vibrations,
Yeah.
and just only learning about that, mind you. I'm a beginner, so
Yeah.
so I've heard and watching different videos about orbs and things, and there are unexplainable phenomena out there. I'm never going the conspiracy route. I used to be like that, but not anymore. Obviously, I've learned a lot since then. But so I'm like doing the logical. I said to my sister on the phone, I said my logical brain is thinking, okay, dust mites, flying
Right.
insects, whatever.
That's what I thought when I seen them the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my logical brain was thinking. But then when I took still photos of the videos I made, it showed colour and quite see-through, which that's what prompted me to research and go onto the videos and websites about this phenomena. And what I'm experiencing is some kind of dimension, frequency, spiritual and this other guy's video I was watching, his channel the other night, he lives with them all the time, a lot more, and their kind of spiritual energy, and it's amazing.
Yes.
And he hasn't gone into much about it, but they set up like a camera like 24/7 in their home to capture whatever comes on.
Wow.
And that was like, you know, not edited, it was just real stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like describing how they travel through walls, it must be different dimensions from our so-called concept of Earth. And yeah, I still haven't really got my head around it all because it's all new. And yeah, I thought, well, stuff it. What I'm seeing, I'm going to post, and people think it's wacky. That's their problem, you know. I just thought, well, this is the experience. This is all phenomena. Could it be connection to waking up to through meditation, through vibration level?
Yes.
Who knows? You know.
Yes, like I said earlier, you know, you want to raise your vibration, be more positive.
Yeah.
Be more positive. You know, that's why why a lot of the stuff I do online now is mostly the uplifting stuff, you know, because we need a lot more of that. You know, we really do. Because it is a spiritual battle. It's a battle for your very soul. You know, it really is, because they want to control us all, you know, with their laws and shit, you know.
Oh my God.
And the more you focus on that bad, you know, you're just feeding the fire. But you know, it's good to pass on information, yeah, but you know, don't focus on it. Like somebody said the other night, Victor, he said, you know, think of it like a program. You know, when you're done doing that, just flip off and, you know, go about your day, you know.
Yes, absolutely right. Because the only way I can describe it is like, okay, I know any day I'll be dealing with more crap, you know, and statute law. But yet, as I would be more, perhaps before I experience this phenomena, my reaction could be more, oh God, dreading the post, dreading what's next, perhaps. Now I don't get monkeys. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
That's me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, you can't change, you know, what's going to happen. Well, you can, like I said, you know, but you know, it's going to happen anyway. No matter what you try to do to stop it, it's still going to happen. You know, you can make small choices along that way to change it, but you know, it's still not going to affect the overall outcome. But it will change. It'll change it to where small ways, I guess. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. In my opinion, my experiences gives me the opportunity to look at situations differently than I would have done before.
Yes.
And I suppose in a positive sense, that is giving me the options, and I can see things more clearly than I would have done before. If that makes any sense.
Oh yes, it does.
So it's now I'm more observant in general things in life, whatever subject it may be I'm dealing with, than before. I perhaps wouldn't be aware and as much, I suppose. You know, I'm still as you say, baby steps. So, you know, still life challenges about. It will never go away, as we all know. But the more, if one can go within oneself and find, you know, the inner peace, whatever that may mean to the individual, then whatever, as you say, I personally call it the evil entity, whatever that may manifest itself to be, is up to the individual's opinion. But there is definitely the evil in my opinion, the evil
Oh yeah.
spiritual war going on. And
Oh yes, there is.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's no doubt. You feel it every day. It's like me. And a few others I've talked with on here and stuff. You hear people. You hear it in your head. All this bad energy. Bad things happening to people, good people. And then people end up turning out doing bad things because of the bad things happening to them.
Yeah.
It becomes a cycle for them. But if you could just, that's why it's really hard for people that can feel all that. The empath and the ESP and all that stuff. Just to, you get the good and the bad, but remember to keep the balance. Remember the world is not all bad. There is a balance to it. And you've got to maintain that balance within yourself to keep yourself from going whoop whoop.
Because my mate did a test, right? She wanted me to have this second-hand telly, and I said no way. But she brought it round after work for got it out for a car. It's only a small one, and it's a mini smart one, and so I said, well, just turn it on a minute. I just want to do a test of my phone, and i.e. in the subject mind control. And I heard about how the TV can do that, right? So I wanted to prove a point to her. I said, don't believe me, I'm going to use my smartphone and we're going to do this test, right? We videoed just the image when it was on a normal channel on the smartphone, and then just unplugged it, turned it all off, and I played the video back to her and I showed her. What showed back was that major big blob in the middle of constant frequencies flashing. All you saw in the background was faded images of, and you could hear obviously what was being said and the faded images, but the prominent projection of the flashing constant images was coming off like a computer screen does sometimes. It flashes. So does perhaps these phones do that too, but the telly was absolutely so prominent. It's no wonder it alters the mind and the brain. Programming that information, and you just switch off from thinking about anything because you're concentrated on whatever's being projected. So obviously she was shocked. And I said, well, this is what you want to be careful with your teenagers, and your kids watching. And I'm just giving her little tips, putting her into the direction of her opening up to what's going on in the bigger picture. Who knows if it works? But I said, well, thank you for your offer. You could take it away now and just have a good home for it. But I particularly don't want it in my place. And thank you all the same, because I had to learn that. It took me a while to learn about all that, because at the time I thought it was just conspiracy talk, like with Wi-Fi and the damages to the DNA and the microwaves frequencies. And until I researched it, one wouldn't know, But unfortunately, there's still a lot of people asleep, that they will. It's like what you posted on your links earlier. And another one I came across about the one to create the 5G mobile, and it's like, my God.
I know.
So on these lamp posts, what I saw again today when this fake snow came down, I did a picture of that. I couldn't believe what I saw again, and it just got my attention because the light of the smart light, the street light, showed up the fake snow coming around it, and that showed up the light of the little mini antennae on top of the street light. It's like, I noticed with the phone it had the Wi-Fi still on, so I straight away switched it off on the phone, because I researched that they could track your Wi-Fi and where you are anyway with your smartphones, but more so with the frequencies connected with the smart lights. What? And I thought, and I investigated it, researched the subject, and why on earth would they have a smart light, a street light, with the new lights, so the mini antennae like you get on these communication towers, but a tiny one you could hardly see unless you zoom in with a camera, and or you're at a certain height you're able to see it above, which I did today. And I got it on camera, and I thought, oh my god. And it was, I thought, you ain't all right, you can check your phone. And I thought, well, let's leave the smartphone at home and just take the analog, you know, a cheapy one for 10 quid, and just make do with analog. We could take the battery out.
Well, it's like you saying about the subliminal stuff. That thing I posted earlier, this that I'm showing now, a slideshow thing, but it says the subliminal messages, how they do them. You know, here it's auditory subliminal perception. The target message is placed below the auditory threshold and it's masked by music, and possible to use backwards masked messages and silent subliminals. Like you said there, time shrunk subliminal messages it says car, because that picture cut it off, I guess, but can be hidden in music. Yes. I know Jammer said before, you know, don't listen to a lot of these music, you know, because they do put the subliminal stuff in a lot of this music, you know, especially if it's pushed by the mainstream, you know, it's got subliminal messages in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I was a bit hesitant to click on and listen to a couple of the songs, the links that you shared.
Yeah.
In case it was there was a hidden message or something.
Yeah. The music is the message in them posts that I post, you know, certain things, you know, like there's one, it's called Love and Meth by Korn, you know, and it's in the video, it's showing them gradually, they're puppets on a string. You know, and that's telling you there that they're being controlled by the music industry there to put out certain things in their music. You know, they over the years they've all told us that, you know, subliminally, you know, in a subtle way there. You know,
it's like what they do with the shopping, isn't it? I saw another link about bringing out the fingerprint technology for something, I can't remember what it was now, and it's like, it just reminded me of that movie years ago, and Bruce Willis in a futuristic movie where I won't mention the title just in case you get copyright, but it was where you had the cars flying in the air, up and down buildings, and people living in this very tiny, small, little spaces, Agenda 2030. And I forgot what I was going to say now. My brain's gone dead. It just freezed up then. I couldn't remember. I was going to say something interesting, but I can't remember it now. Never mind. It'll come back to me. But oh yeah, the images, that's what I was going to say. It's like if you go shopping or you're searching online and suddenly this thing will come up and say, oh, you visited a website, the cookies or whatever will track you. And then you get this advert message or an inbox message and like to sell for something that you just visited a website. It just future could just say, I saw ages ago, I think, a mini documentary about it, and that's what got my attention to thinking about that movie I saw long time ago now. And when I saw it, I didn't think about it because my lad was into that kind of sci-fi, you know, advanced music and videos and movies. So I wasn't into movies then, and I didn't think about the messages behind it all. But when we see it now, and what you just said and shared, it just reminded me of that movie and how it is so obvious what they're doing. I mean, but for a long time. And And the other links you shared on your page about Dubai coming into the picture, holding that space, so-called space conference, trying to get into the commercial aspect of it.
Yep.
And I thought they've got the wealth because of the oil in the country. And it's no surprise. I was surprised in the sense how they're coming in now, but well, obviously they're just promoting themselves because they're obviously seen now as most probably as another wealthiest state within their corporate country, being they're Muslim, aren't they? In Dubai, because you look at the trade they're doing around the world and the luxury, and I mean, who can really afford to live there? Only if you got a good job or contacts or so-called wealth. It's my daughter's ex-husband's father used to have I don't know if he still does, but used to have a contract with an oil company, and he spent 6 months of the year over there. And I came across her Facebook page ages ago, and I came across his, and I saw his updated photographs of him on oil plantation, like a building site with an oil rig things in the background on land. And my God, it's huge, and it's like, no wonder they can afford what they do in UK where they are, because they're making it. They make that wages and bring it over to the country.
Yeah, and that space conference thing, that's a distraction too, but that I think it's all more about more control too. They want to control space too. My God,
it's interesting.
The world is not enough for them. Just like that movie, The World Is Not Enough. That James Bond movie.
So when I look at the moon, it looks so damn fake, and it's like, and I'm sure these people with their telescopes will obviously disagree, but it just comes across that way. I haven't got a long telescope and I can't see that close, but when I've seen it, when I've seen it, it looks so fake because of the atmosphere.
Yeah. But I can see it pretty good here. I got binoculars, and I've looked, it's real, but I have a telescope, but you got to stand there and hold it because my thing broke and everything, but the tripod thing broke.
Wow. What is this? Go on then. What's the what is? I'm not an expert in all this stuff, but I'm just intrigued by the full moon, half moon. What's it really? Is it to do with spring or the weather or
cycles? Yeah. It controls the current of the oceans, and women's menstrual cycles and a lot of other stuff too, and it affects, how this is a lot. A lot of people believe, the planetary bodies do affect you because it is electricity, So
that's what
and we're how does our brains work? Electricity, electrically charged synapses, all that. I'm not an expert either, but I'm just going by what I've heard others speak about, but it does affect you, planetary bodies do, but it's
well,
I think it's if you let them affect you, like you said about the meditation and all that,
Yeah. Because years ago when I used to watch these old movies, and then there's one about some hounds and the moors, a really old movie, and it was a full moon and the werewolves come out, and it's quite a funny movie, but it just reminded me of that, and I always wondered, because in the diary,
Yeah.
you get certain diaries, and it shows you when it's, for the date of the full moon.
Well, it's like I know you go to a hospital on a full moon and it's full of pregnant women, and
Wow.
not a lot, you know what I mean? That's what I hear, from, I used to know some nurses, and they said that, most every full moon there will be there's a lot of pregnant women, going into labor on a full moon, because it controls the menstrual cycle and all that stuff. So
Wow. Fascinating.
yeah, it is. I don't, like I said, I'm no expert. I don't know that much about it. Just what I've heard others speak about. So. And Jamer has been muted this whole time.
Yeah. Does he know much about it? US, he might be doing something.
I know, the way they've told us, about the supermoons and stuff. I know he said, even they're not accurate on that. It's not when they say it is, the supermoons and all that other stuff.
Oh. Well.
So, because they got the calendar. The calendar's wrong.
Yeah.
So.
Hey.
Sorry, I was just working and listening to you. I couldn't really see you, but it's quite nice. It's therapeutic when you're it's just normal conversation. You can work quite well on the,
Right, yeah, you can.
I need to turn my sound up a bit. Yeah, what were you talking about there, Peg?
About the moon, the cycles of the moon.
Yeah. I'm doing some work on that. I need to go back and organise it and gather all the data that I've collected and just list it down. I have got it all listed down, but I just need to count up and get some figures from it.
Yeah, cool.
So I do intend to do a video on that, but it's kind of has to take its place in amongst the list of other things that I've got to be done first.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're quite right. The calendar's not really tied to the moon. That's the thing.
That's what I couldn't get there. Yeah.
Have you got a full moon tonight, by the way, Beck?
Yeah, it's full moon.
Is it right? Is it the first one, or was there one last night as well?
I think this is the first night of it.
It's the first night, right? Cool, that's good. Okay, actually, let me just check what my date says. All right. Okay, so that's like, for example, that's they say that the moon is 28 days, but today is the 29th day.
Yeah.
Since the full, sorry, not since the full moon, since the new moon. Because if you look at the moon, sometimes there's 4 full moons in a row. So one of them will be like the last moon or the last day of that moon, and then usually then there's like sometimes there's 3, and the next one is like the middle one, and that comes up a full moon, and then you get another full moon which comes up a bit smaller.
Yeah.
So if you watch it over this period, if you watch it and then count the days from here to the next one, you'll be able to gauge. Some of them are 28, some of them aren't. So I counted one was 33, but I thought I might have miscounted. But it's quite difficult to tell when they're doing the chemtrails. We haven't been able to see the moon for the past 2 days. A total blanket whiteout on the chemtrails and that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like do your own research on that. Yeah, people. Yeah. But yeah, it's like here it's been cloudy the past few days, nights, whatever.
See, another one they say is that I've got to say, like with the chemtrails, they really are messing with the weather. I mean, we had the daffodils are coming out in January over here.
Yes.
That shouldn't happen. They shouldn't come out until March, till late March.
Yes.
But they're already coming out, and now we've had a really cold week this week. In fact, I would say it's not like nature's colds. It's kind of a damp, city type damp cold. It's not actually cold enough. It's not that icy cold where it actually goes quite warm for a bit,
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So if you get snow on the ground and that, we just don't get that down here anymore.
Yeah.
So they've really messed with the weather, and I would say that they're actually warming it up. They're warming the winters up over here. That's what they're actually doing with their chemtrails. It's making it warmer.
Hmm.
I mean, it is colder during the day because they're blocking the sun. But in the winter, I mean, that's why the daffodils are coming up at night.
Yeah.
They're making it warmer. Like, it's just horrible. It's just there's no sun.
That's like here. I was up at my cousin's there yesterday, and his daffodils had done come up. So yeah, he said they've been up for a week.
Yeah. So, and the other thing is, of course, the plants aren't getting the full spread of hours for their to mature, so that the fruit can mature. So all the plants will be underdeveloped.
Right.
You know, but then it falls right into line with the wheat, whereby people eating wheat are not really eating actual real food. They're actually, if you think about the parts that they're actually getting from the wheat, there's the smallest part of the plant, which is the ear, which is kind of like the seed of the wheat plant. They then take that, grind it up, and make a lot like a well, they make a flour out of it, and then eat that as though it's food. And it's just, you can see right there that it's not food.
Right.
You know. And as regards eating meat and people feeling squeamish about that, I mean, animals don't seem to be very squeamish about that.
No, they don't.
You know, get stuck in, mate. You know, that's
like
the
he
thing.
went and helped. His sister had a pig slaughtered, and they just brought him half the pigs. They thought it was going to be already done for him, and it wasn't. But he had to go help them do that, and they brought back the bones, you know, for the animals. And yeah, they didn't mind. They loved it.
It's yeah, I think in England we're really bad over here. You're sort of like a little bit more liberated in America. I don't like that word so much, but a bit freer, really. But it's something like it's you know, it's the fucking Disney movies, you know, making everyone go la la, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And then they don't want to do what they're supposed to be doing down here on Earth.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we are the recycling system, as so are the animals of the nature, or the meat that's left behind. We need to recycle that, because nature doesn't leave anything to waste.
Exactly. Like even a tree, when it falls, you know, it rots and decomposes and becomes, you know, the earth, the nutrients in the earth, you know, whatever.
Right. I mean, it's like,
that's like,
if you look at a chicken, if you take a chicken apart and just roast a chicken, and you see the way that the meat just comes apart from the bones, it was designed to be that way. Our bodies are, all the bodies on this planet are designed to be eaten by something else after its death.
Even us.
Huh?
I said, even us.
Yeah, we are as well.
Even
probably,
us.
Probably. I mean, I don't know who would eat us. As you know,
I was gonna say a shark.
They're probably, the people that are supposed to eat us are probably so sick of us that they don't want to come back. I don't know about that.
Who knows?
Well, it's not that. I mean, it's a serious subject. It's
yes, it is.
You know, we are as far as we know, we're the sentient life on this planet. There's no one above us, as far as I know, yet. And you have to go into the spirit world for that. And but you know, it's up to us to be responsible. And I think we should be doing a lot more interacting with nature. We should be in telepathic communication with all the animals to understand what they're doing, and we should guide the animals about what they should be doing. And I think that, you know, cats and dogs, the way that they are, I don't think we should be having pets as pets in the house. I know that's not a very popular thing to say, but, you know, I've told you why that is. Because of what we're doing to the animals, it's not fair. And as a consequence, they don't know what to do. You see, and that's the problem. You take a kitten away from its mother at 6 weeks old. That's what happened to me as a child. I was taken away from my mother at 2 years old. You can't do that. I need to learn things. And as soon as you take me away from my mother, I've no longer got the protection I need.
It's like this one right here. So this kitty that's jumping down right here. If you put her outside, you know what she does? Because she's never been outside. She's been outside, but you know what she does? She goes and hides in a hole. Because she not, like you said, she don't know what to do.
Right. Well, I mean, that's tragic, really. You know, that tells you the psychological state of the animal, and that's not good.
Right.
You know? It's not a good state to be in. And it's hang on, I'm just closing stuff.
The stray cat, right?
Do you know what, Becca? Just before we go on, this video didn't come up in my feed on YouTube.
Huh?
It's like you weren't on, and you've been doing it for about an hour. It didn't come up.
Yeah, yeah. Been on since like.
I don't know if it's just me or anyone else said that.
And it probably is. You know,
Have you got a YouTube link opened?
Yeah.
Oh right, okay. Is it you got the people in the chat, maybe?
Well, they're not there anymore.
Right.
So, but yeah. Firecat said she joined, but she had to go get dinner. So.
How you doing, Foxy? Anyway.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, surviving. And you?
Yeah.
Oh, shit day today. I had the gas people come and change the bloody meter for a prepayment meter.
Oh my God!
Oh
No.
yeah.
Yeah, I was there from 8. They were banging on the door as though they were the fucking Nazis. You know, literally, this guy thought he was the fucking Nazis. So, like, you coming to change the fucking gas meter? You got a fake warrant from the court as if till 1 o'clock in the afternoon with the police.
Oh my God!
They want to stop them fitting that fucking thing, and in the end, the police supported them because I couldn't really blame them. I mean, one of them was a little bit, but they were both all right guys. They just don't know what the fuck is going on, and they've been told to do it a certain way, and they don't want to go against their boss. And I can't blame the police. I can't even blame the guys who came to change the fucking meter. It's what we're facing. I think what you were talking about earlier.
We live in.
It's this is part of my journey. I'm being told that I've got to go and deal with this and be the flag bearer for this project.
Yeah.
They did that to me 2012, right? I didn't know what I know now, but I was bedbound, couldn't walk. There was 5 blokes, I think I might have said this before, and they broke into my flat. It's a communal hallway, so I don't know how they got in. And they drilled the holes out of the locks, and they broke in, and they forced the meters on me. I didn't get the paperwork to let me know. Correspondence, I was paying.
Did you ever go back on that? You said that before, yeah. Did you ever go back on it?
No, I was preoccupied with other stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah, no,
I'm in credit now with my prepaid meters. And they keep writing to me to offer me to change, but if I change, I'll lose the standard, the fixed rate deal I've got for dual fuel. British Gas, the worst one's going. Sorry.
Yeah, everyone says that's funny, because I tell you what, they're all the same. Eon are the same. Eon, my mate. He like him and his missus is 75 years old, and they're sort of like 5 burly guys, trying to break into their house to fit these poxy meters. That was Eon. And then Southern Electric Gas, or the Southern Electric, they've always been notoriously bad. They've been on Watchdog loads of times for being a predatory.
Well, British Gas pushing their smart meters on telly, right? My mate told me about. So my next action is going to write up and rejecting. I've already got the download letter to do it, and I've seen a link how to do that. So that's my next course action when I get a chance. And
that's the only way you'll get them to stop. You won't get nothing from them by writing letters. You have to take them to court. You might even have to sue the judge as well. And the court, because they're not doing their job. I mean, that's the problem. It's like that's what it takes in order to deal with these people, because they're so powerful. The company. Think about how much power they've got. This company, they don't go to a court and say you owe us money, and here's a court certified bailiff. He does. He'll give you a copy of the warrant. He'll say, here's the warrant, here's the judge's name, and this came from the local court. What these people do, they go down there, they hire out the court themselves, and they rubber stamp a whole load of cases.
Yeah.
And then they lie to the court. They basically say they're coming in for a gas. They tell the judge that they're going in for a gas leak, when it's not a gas leak. They're coming in to fit a prepayment meter, but they use it. So they're misleading the court, and they're abusing the statute of the Gas Act 1984 in order to fit these prepayment meters. And they are the operators, judge, jury, and executioner. And I know this because I've been down there myself. I've actually been into one of these courts and these tribunals. It's not even in a proper courtroom. It's in one of these side meeting rooms. It's so small, you're practically breathing down each other's throat. I mean, literally, it's like a little corridor with a fucking table and 2 chairs or 3 chairs in it. 4 chairs. There were three of them, and they were all working for Southern Electric.
There we go. Yeah.
They're just, you know, and basically, I read, I think somewhere that all of these companies are basically government companies. So the people behind Southern Electric, British Gas, you know, like Microsoft, 80% of Microsoft is owned by the US government. 80%. So really, Bill Gates isn't really running Microsoft, it's the government. Yeah. So they're the company, and the people that are behind them, the government is just a proxy for the royal pharaohs who run the world, because they own most of the shares in all of these all of the power companies. I mean, let's face it, if you've got a free energy device or you're an independent energy company, even if you're an oil company, you're not going to set the price, or you're not going to rock the boat and cheapen the price with these people who own the big conglomerates like Esso and BP and, you know, Texaco and all the rest of them, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, I came across an article the other day. You know, I did do the translating my paintings and stuff, and it led to this one thing. And I found an article where, you know, I think this is what I took from it, that the pharaohs themselves were controlled even back then by this shadow government. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't see it that way. I see that they
who knows?
They basically organise through their drugs, and well, basically, I mean, when you get to that level, you know, it's just a different scale of it, so it's much easier to get away with. But they control the governments, and the governments are basically the figureheads, so they're the proxy figureheads that control the rest of
That's what I'm saying. They were just the figureheads.
Yeah, but that's not the government. I mean, I'd say that they are.
That's what they're just figureheads. Yeah, but they're not really the ones who control it. Yeah. That's what.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
It's interesting you say that, because I watched a mini documentary it's going back quite AC or BC era, something to do with Russia and Israel, and the real reason why they're expanding the land takeover to include Iran, and why all these so-called wars are going on over there. And it was something different take on what I've seen before, and it went back into the history of this particular the language, how the Israel people took on any kind of religious belief system. They chose the Jewish religion and their faith, and it was an interesting. I can't remember the link I saw. I just randomly found it today, and I was watching it. I couldn't believe it, and it included Russia. Wasn't Russia as we know it today, and going back in that period, this well-known tribe, they called it a tribe, took over a majority of that land, and through history to current date, it just went from past to present, and how Jewish, I can't even say the word, the Jewish faith and the Israel people have proclaimed the land and pushed out the Palestine people, and how they've done it throughout history, and how these proxy wars, fake wars, is mainly to do with, and they went into the history and the facts about that, and they linked on, because you did a post about some museum finding, or somebody did, some old scrolls.
And Dead Sea Scrolls,
and that was fascinating, because obviously my upbringing, past family's religious upbringing, we had that lecture, I call it lecture, of the Dead Sea Scrolls, And it was fascinating to come across that with the link I saw on this mini documentary of the history, because I've always been intrigued by history, and whether or not all this is true, again, who knows? But it was just an interesting, different take on the usual information one comes across, and but how it linked into Arab states, like Saudi Arabia on the border there, and the documentary was like showing the map, going back to that period quite a long time ago, and it's fascinating, really intriguing, whether it's fact, who knows, but the history of it is quite educational to see the bigger picture of things,
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's when I find some of my best stuff is on accident. So,
yeah. It's because so many people, there's everyday stuff gets in the way, a majority of people with the pressure of life, with jobs and everything else, and family, and they don't have time, perhaps, and they get distracted easily, that's just sometimes people's lives. And
that's why they put all them distractions there. Yeah, so you don't focus on the more important things. Like one of the titles, love. How do people see love nowadays?
Oh yeah.
The younger generation. Specifically, and was started even before that. Love was seen as sex.
Yeah.
Not what I'm trying to say there. They've perverted love into it being all about the sex, but it's not. It's in here.
Yeah.
It's not all physical. It's mostly mental, spiritual, if you will.
How it's got so commercialism and commercialized, and it's even more so nowadays than it's ever I can remember it. And even before what I know now, it was always a pressure on have a Valentine's Day, and even at school, Valentine's card. And it's like, no, you just don't do it for one day a year. It's like throughout your life, and just small gestures, and
who's behind Valentine's Day? Where does that come from?
Don't know. It's commercial though. Anyway,
yeah, I know, but it's like I mean, it's like Coca-Cola's behind Santa Claus, and
let's
see. So I just wonder where it comes from.
It's like Saint Valentine, whoever he was. I haven't really.
You might be right. It might be commercial. It might be the greeting card industry just promoted it so that everyone will send greeting cards.
Yeah. And the red roses.
And everyone buys into it and carries on doing it and never stop.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because soon it's nothing to say about, it's like Valentine's, then it'd be Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter.
Here's one I found. It says it's the dark origins of Valentine's Day.
Surprised.
It started in Roman times.
Right.
According to this, it says from February 13th to the 15th, the Romans celebrated the feast of Lupercalia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Lupercalia. The men sacrificed the goat and the dog, then whipped women with the hides of the animals they had just slain. The Roman romantics were drunk. They were naked. Young women would actually line up for the men to hit them. They believed this would make them fertile.
Good God.
Oh my God.
I'm reading some of that stuff at the moment. It's like in another book, and it's like I really question the validity of the statements that they're making. I just can't believe that people are that stupid. Because it turns out really that it's like the further we look back in history, the smarter our ancestors are compared to what we are today. So it's almost as if
Well,
this
that's
shit
true,
is, you know, I'm reading a book from 1925, and it's like got the same stuff in it. So I'm wondering whether they, you know, it was all pumped out. I mean, remember they had total control of the media by
That's
then.
that's true.
So
Yeah.
whether they just pumped out this shit to get people, you know, to believe, oh, it's much worse in the olden days, but really it wasn't much worse in the olden days. You know.
Yeah. That's weird. I've never seen that before. Weird. I'll give you the link there. I'll put your YouTube there.
But they're, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought, what? Like you know, I don't know, you know, people believe, if they want you to believe something, all they got to do is repeat it, and repeat it. So maybe they did actually believe that. Some people.
We're not talking about the people who built the pyramids, that's for sure. You know,
No.
You know, they weren't going around beating women because they felt,
No.
you know, it was so, you know, that sounds, that just sounds like a,
that sounds far out.
Sounds like the invasion army, you know, rewriting the history books.
Yeah.
To give themselves an excuse to stay in someone else's country that they shouldn't be in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
yeah. Well. But yeah, now it's I hate going to the store because like it's commercialized, it's everywhere, you know, chocolate and all that stuff, you know, associated with it, you know, and they profit off of the love. But like she said, you should show that every day of the year, you know. It should just be that one day, you know. But yeah, and it's got perverted over the years, you know, the meanings of the love, you know. That's how I was raised, you know. So about that, you know, it's more mental than physical, you know. So you got to have that connection first, but for it to have any meaning at all, you know. So.
You know what? I was speaking to these coppers today, and they just, you know, I knew more about the Lord than they did. I mean, what does that tell you about how much training they've got? You know?
Oh yeah. That's like we're saying, you know, how we're programmed and conditioned. You know, that, I mean, even that.
It is a classic thing. Foxy, have you seen habeas corpus videos at all? She's gone. She's muted.
She's muted.
Yeah. You've seen it. Yeah? So like, pardon?
Go on.
I was just going to say, so in that video, he points out that the emblem on every courtroom in Britain has got you've got the lion and the unicorn and the coat of arms, and on the bottom in writing it's got "Dieu et mon droit," which means God and my right. So it's basically telling the government there is no one in between man and God. It means that the people in law are supreme. Its parliament has got delusions of grandeur because it no longer represents the people and has never really represented the people. It's only been stealing from the people and as a vehicle by proxy to do just that. And that's exactly what it does. And it's not just stealing our money, it's stealing our sovereignty by divesting it into Europe. And, you know, for 25, 30 years, they were getting in there in the 1970s. In fact, probably before that. So they spent, you know, literally trillions and trillions of pounds of our money that they taxed us for to give to Europe. I think it's like something like 12 billion pounds a day. So it's, you know, a huge sum of money. I mean, some of them at some time they were about that. I'm not sure it's always that, but, you know, it's a shitload of money. And now we're just not even going to bother anymore. So that's 30, 40 years of investment into an infrastructure and a parliamentary system and a judiciary and you know, all the supporting stuff, and we're just not even going to bother anymore. We're going to get our money back. We should all get a tax rebate, you know, because I've paid for that for the last 40 years. No, you can't really hear you, Foxy. I need to make a cup of tea, so somebody else will have to take over for a bit.
Okay.
be interested to find out. Can you hear me all right, Rebecca?
Yes, yes. Yes, I can hear you. I think it was Google playing up on you there.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was asking if there was a YouTube channel that you made a reference to. Apis called.
Now you went out again.
Can you hear me now?
No.
I'll come back in a minute. If you can hear that.
Okie dokie. Okay, yeah, I hear you. Be back. So, I'm clicking. I'm sorry. Yeah.
We lost Foxy back.
Yeah, she's gonna go out and come back. So, her sound kept going out there. So, she's gonna try and go out and come back. So,
Yeah, it's all just a big scam. I said to the copper today, I said, I'll tell you, mate, because I was trying to get him to. I said that to him, do it at Mundua. You would expect a police officer in Britain. I mean, they weren't like brand new coppers. They've been doing it for 10 plus years.
yeah.
Like both these guys, and you would have thought they would have known what it meant, what that emblem meant. Because they swear an allegiance to it.
Right. Yeah.
That's what their bond rep. Their bond for 2.5 million or whatever. That's what's behind that is that emblem.
Yeah.
And that statement, which is basically like your constitution. You'll quote the amendments or whatever. The First and Second Amendment.
Yeah.
Don't violate the constitution. Well, you see, if they violate, so that's exactly what they both did, but they didn't really understand that that's exactly what they were doing, is violating their oath of office, because what they did was they supported a company against a sovereign individual in the country, and they know full well that this is a domestic property. So I'm not making money from here.
Right.
Selling electric down the street or something, or got a load of pinball machines. So. Do you know what I'm saying? So they know that, because they were in it and having a look. So, but they didn't understand what that meant. And the problem is that they have got the training from whoever's trained them that this is the way things go. So they're just literally just following orders. And it's like, wow, I said to him, if you don't understand what's happening here, I said, this is tyranny. What they're doing out there is tyranny. And you're allowing it to happen. And I said, because you're allowing it to happen and not stopping them, that's why we'll never get out of this shit that we're in, and we're going to descend into civil war in this country. Because people are getting pissed off, and now you're attacking the middle class, and that's people like me. And they're the get up and go people who will fight back. That's not the completely destitute poor who can't really do nothing or haven't got a noddle to do it. We don't have to be big, strong men because we've got brains. There's a lot of other ways to fight. So, it's just, but the thing is, though, that's what they want. At the end of the day, they want a civil war because, then we'll, half the country will be slaughtered, and it'll be just, it will be like our grandparents or my grandparents were, in as much as, ashamed to tell the grandchildren what happened in their lifetime.
Right. Well, I know it's a Hollywood movie, but, I watched a few movies the other night. That new Captain America was not so new, but the Captain America Civil War. And, you know, you see it
Right,
all
yeah,
the
I
time
see
on here, you know, especially, you know, where how they'll pit people against each other. And that's what happened there at the end of that one, you
Yep.
know. Yeah, and it split the whole group up. You know, you see that happen a lot on here. You know, and it's a lot of
You
the
know,
times it's not like people think it is. You know what I'm
if
saying?
I
You
had the
know,
time,
it
I would
makes
do
it
it.
worse for people. What makes it worse by by dwelling on it over time, even if somebody's apologized to them or it wasn't their fault really, they were being controlled or manipulated. People don't think about that on here and in real life. It happens in real life. This is real, but you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying there. But yeah, it's sad. When that happens.
I was just going to say on a movie set that there's an agenda, which is the destruction agenda, and they've been running that for 20
Yes.
years. I mean, all of those movies are.
Oh yes, I was going to add that too. Yes.
I mean, that's what they're good. That's what they're projecting out into the consciousness is just destruction. There isn't any how to build, how to make your own car factory. Do you know what I'm saying? There's none of that sort of movies out there.
But that movie there, it was telling you something else too, that they do that too. That's what they're saying with that movie too. They're doing that to all of us to make us turn against each other.
Absolutely.
To have the Civil War or, a fucking cyber war, whatever the fuck you want to call it, which a lot of the times some of this shit on here, it gets nasty. I've seen it and experienced some of it, it's unneeded shit, it's silly really, when we're all fighting against the same shit,
You got to ask really if they got an alternative agenda, if they really continue.
Right.
Especially the ones who know better, it's just not
exactly. That's right. Yeah.
Too much shit going on in the real world out there.
Oh yeah, that's why I've been,
coming out to fight the gas. Coming out to fight the gas companies. Really, the elites who you want to really get in on the game. There's not many people who really want to do it. See, that's the thing. It's like nobody who actually wants to roll their hands up in their sleeves. It's just me on my own doing this.
Even offline. Yeah.
Even a copper after everything. He says, mate, why don't you just pay the bill? I said, because they never stop. I said, and pay the bill. I said, you know how much the gas is since I've been here since 2007? It's 11,900 and something at the moment. It's nearly 12 grand. It's a lot of money. That's the electric. So the gas is a bit cheaper because I'm not centrally heated here. But it's like shit, and when he left, he said, because I said that, he said, good for you, mate. He said, keep fighting the fight. He says, I'm gonna have to take him to court. I said, I'll have to take you to court. I said, I'm not having a go at you. I said, but I will have to take you to court and list you as a lien debtor against breaking the law.
Shit.
So, but he was, he congratulated me. He said, just carry on. I think he sort of admired what I was trying to do, really, which is really good.
Yeah, that's good.
It's funny, isn't it? All the people that are supposed to be your mates, none of them give you any encouragement like that copper did today to me, and he's supposed to be the enemy.
Right.
That one out.
That's
funny, isn't it?
It is funny.
It's so funny, but I mean, I suppose that being a copper, he appreciated it more than most people, I suppose, because he is dealing with the law every day.
Oh yeah.
But that's why I kept saying to people, talk about the law, let's get into it, because it's an interesting topic. It's one of the most essential topics out there, for people to understand what's really going on. If you want to know why you don't understand the crazy shit that's happening on the news every night, just start studying the law, and then it'll all fit into place.
Yeah.
You will understand it. Either you'll relax about it all and realize it's all a load of crap, and everyone's, you're being had with your pants down, basically, watching television. Yeah. That's what's going on.
Yes. Oh, yes. And she couldn't join back. Her sound wasn't so good. So, damn it, Google. Anyway, yeah. I'm gonna cut this one short, so it's Friday.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hang out afterwards, so but anybody that's got the link can join in, after we're all there if you can. So we've talked about everything pretty much. So
what have you? Has it been a bit of a mishmash tonight?
Yeah, well, yeah, I started out with my thing there, but and this is what I said in the beginning. It's all in here. If you want to change the world, start with you. You hear a lot of people say that, but it's true. Like what I'm trying to do with the art there. It's one small thing at a time there. So.
You know what? I'm still looking for what's your video called tonight? Beck?
Do what now?
What's your video called tonight?
Love, Art, ESP, and Ruminations. Full Moon birthday special for Dad. It would be my dad's birthday today. So.
You know what? It's not even up on YouTube. Not on my.
It's not surprising.
On my feed, I can't see it.
It should be because I set it up a few days ago.
There's one now that's live.
Let me see if it's on my channel.
You know what? I'd have to go to your channel to see it probably. Let's do that.
It should be, damn it.
Let's go to your channel.
See. Yeah, it's saying I'm live now.
Yeah,
on my channel.
It's coming up on your channel. I can see it now, right? Yeah, but that's not on the live feed tonight for some reason.
Of course not, because of the title. Yeah.
Because it is what?
Yeah, because they put us in a box.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah. But yeah. Anyways.
End it short, Becca. That's good. Could do it with a note.
So yeah, thanks for everybody to watch. If you got the link to join, you can join. So more off air if you want there. So but thank you for joining. Just think about what I always said there. Do your own research on this stuff too. Whatever works for you. The meditation, Foxy was talking about and stuff. So and yeah, do what feels good to you. So that's what it said, and others do what feels good to you. Do what makes you happy. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining. Peace and love. Love you.